So I guess the thing that stands out to me today, or that's coming to me today while we're adventuring out in the middle of the thick of the bush, is that it's so much easier to be negative about life than it is to be positive about life. It's so much easier to feel like a victim to circumstances and to look at all of the things that are going wrong and to kind of roll over and submit to them as though they are inevitable and there's nothing that we can do about it. And a lot of the world, a lot of the people that I see are living pretty miserably. And a lot of it is just because of, not all of it, of course, there are difficult circumstances, but even those with the right kind of attitude and the right kind of approach, most of those, a lot of those anyway, can be overcome. But a lot of people are miserable just because of the reality that they've got themselves mentally and emotionally locked into. So they believe in the bad things of life. And I'm not saying that we should all have rose-colored glasses on and pretend that bad things don't happen, because if we pretend that bad things don't happen, then bad things can really take us by surprise and really knock us sideways. And because we didn't see them coming, or we didn't understand that things like that could happen, it could find us in our naivety and our innocence, I guess, being blown over, bowled over by life and finding ourselves floundering around and like we don't know how to respond or what to do. I believe that we have to be real about life. We have to be real about how people are, how life is, the things that can happen, the positive things as well as the so-called negative things, so that we can not anxiously anticipate the worst or even expect the worst, but so that we can kind of be prepared for anything, so we can be well-rounded, calm, masterful, and able individuals who can respond to life no matter what it's throwing at us. So it's not about having a negative outlook on life, and it's also not about having a Pollyanna, false rose-colored glasses way of looking at life either, but finding that middle ground where we can see life for exactly what it is. We can see challenges for exactly what they are. We see people exactly how they are, not how we want them to be or how we imagine they can be or what we see their potential can be, but how they actually are. And then from that space, because we're not anxious and we're not anticipating and we're not expecting the worst, but we're also not pretending that the bad things aren't happening, we find ourselves in a position where we can actually do something about it. We've got the space, we've got the equanimity, we've got the calmness and the presence and the reality that is necessary in order for us to be able to make appropriate choices and respond to situations in actually appropriate ways. A lot of people reacting to situations, overreacting to situations, and even overreacting to imagined situations, imagined scenarios, things that are going on in their head that don't actually match the reality of what's going on outside them and around them. And so I believe that, and I see it in the world around me, that it's easy to just collapse into victim consciousness and to just collapse into this belief that all is bad and all is wrong and we're victims, and to see the negativity in life. It's very easy to focus on the darkness here. It's very easy to focus on the fear here, and it's very easy to get swept up into both of those things. But I think it's much more courageous. It takes a lot more courage, a lot more strength, a lot more confront to be able to embrace the world exactly as it is, and then from that standpoint of being real and present with life as it's actually happening, choosing through an act of will. And oftentimes that's all you're going to have. It's just an act of will. Through an act of will, you choose to see the beauty in life. You choose to see the potential for growth in situations. You choose to see people as they really are. And then you choose who you have in your life and who you don't have in your life. You choose the situations that you enter into. You choose how you respond. You can't change how other people are. And a lot of us waste a lot of time trying to change how other people are. You can't change a lot of circumstances. There are a lot of circumstances you can change, but you can't change all of them. So those things that you can't change, we've got to learn how to be in deep acceptance of those things, and then look at what it is that we can change. Look at those things that do empower us, because they're things that we do have control over. And the things that empower us and that we do have control over are basically our own response. It's our own reaction. It's our own approach. That's what we have control over. The only thing we truly have control over is ourselves. So that's where we need to be not focusing. I'm not saying just focus on yourself, but that's where we need to be focusing our transformational efforts. It's on the self. Okay, so why am I responding in this way? Is there anything I can do about this situation? No. Okay, then how do I respond in a way that helps to bring me peace, or helps to bring peace to others, or helps to uplift the situation, or helps me to experience joy in this trialing situation? How do I grow through this situation? What can I learn through this? How can I develop my character? How can I become better as a result of having had this experience? And that's more of a proactive, productive, and positive way of approaching and looking at life. If there are things in your life or things that are happening that by you taking back control of yourself, you realize that you can perhaps remove yourself from certain situations, or remove certain people from your life, and perhaps it's a self-loving thing to do, to have boundaries set in that kind of way, then that's something that you can do. You're not trying to change the situation. You're not trying to change the person or mold them so that they fit you and make you feel comfortable or make you feel happy. You're comfortable, you're happy, you're whole, and you're content within yourself. And so then you're freed up to be able to choose which situations you partake in and the people that you allow to be present in your life. Because you don't need anyone in the same way when you're empowering yourself like that. You're not in victim consciousness, so you're not dependent on other people for your feelings of security and safety and okayness and joy, because you're self-sourcing those things. They're coming from within you. And when you're sovereign in that way, when you're self-sourcing in that way, then you do find yourself in a position where you can choose, where you can say no when it's appropriate, but also where you can just stop caring so deeply and taking so personally those things that really don't matter, because a lot of things really just don't matter a lot of the time. And we cause ourselves a lot of strife, and we bring a lot of drama into our lives by overly focusing on and taking personally things that just, in the grand scheme of things, amount to nothing. But then on the flip side of that, a lot of people are just kind of ignoring and putting up with things that really aren't acceptable and that really should be taken more seriously. So we've got to find that middle ground again, where we can see things for exactly as they are, and then we can choose, does this really matter? Is this really significant? Is this something that I want in my life? Oh, does this matter? Is this actually more significant than I think it is? Should I be making a different decision here? Should I be removing myself? Should I be choosing something else? Is this situation or this person really worth me losing my peace? Or is it really worth the strife that it causes? Am I still learning something from this? Or am I just in a kind of perpetual state of or cycle of self-punishment and beating myself down and making myself small? And then from that place, we can choose. And that takes courage to choose in that way. And again, it takes courage to be seeing life exactly how it is, and then choosing to respond to life in a way that is positive and productive and enables growth and transformation and more love and insight and upliftment, to respond to life in a way that's good for you, good for others, and good for life itself. So I know that that's kind of a commitment that I've made to myself, because I would prefer not to suffer unnecessarily. So a commitment that I've made to myself is to do my best to be really present in every moment, and to see everything and everyone for exactly how they are and how it is, to see things exactly as they are, as clear as I can possibly be in any moment. And then from a non-reactive place, but from a fulfilled and satisfied and self-loving place, choose how I bring myself, choose how I respond, choose the situations that I stay in or that I enter into, choose the relationships that I'm going to have in my life, choose the people that I want to have around me because I'm good for them and they happen to be good for me as well. So choosing not to be a victim to life and choosing to empower myself by looking for the opportunities to grow and to evolve and to find love and to bring love and upliftment in as many moments as possible. And that takes courage. That's harder to do than just giving into the heaviness or the depression or the loneliness or the isolation of it all. Responding to life as it actually is and responding in a conscious, deliberate way and choosing to bring light or to see light where there appears to be only darkness, choosing to see love or to bring love where there appears to only be fear. Being a conscious and deliberate contributor and creator. So that's my little message for today.